And welcome to our YouTube channel. I'm Richard Bunnell from The Mortgage Home, and we are your buy-to-let mortgage experts. Now, in this video, I want to talk about key person insurance in the context of attracting more investors. If you are a portfolio landlord that wants to build their portfolio at the fastest pace, in other words, by attracting in investors, joint ventures perhaps, but someone to come in and loan you money so that you can build your portfolio that little bit quicker, then I'm telling you, key person insurance could be the extra tool in your toolbox to facilitate that. Now, before I just get into that, if you haven't subscribed already, then please do. It tells us, gives us a bit of feedback that we're sort of on the right lines, but also for you, if you are subscribing, you'll get a little tap on the shoulder about every time we drop some content, and so you will never miss a thing. Right, let's get on with our content right now. Key person insurance. I want to just backtrack a little bit and tell you what key person insurance is. So in reality, it's nothing different to any other form of life insurance. So it's costed out in the same way. It's just got a slightly different label and a slightly different purpose. But in essence, it's no different to the life insurance that you might have for your mortgage to pay off your residential mortgage at home. It's costed out in the same way, works in the same way. But the reason it's been given the name key person is that quite often it's used within a trading business environment. So let me give you an example. That if you had a trading business and you've got a key individual, that if they were taken away from that business, let's say they died, or they had a critical illness, they could no longer function in that setup. And if that meant that the business would wobble significantly, maybe it would lose significant profits, maybe it would be very, very difficult to replace and recruit that individual. Maybe the business would actually have to close because that individual is that crucial to the success of the business. Then having life insurance to cover that individual means that if the worst happens, a lump sum is paid into the business to then be used within that business environment for the benefit of making things right. Now, let's bring the context now to property investors and building portfolios. So if you're trying to talk to an investor that you don't know, there's no trust, there's no existing relationship there, so your credibility is quite small and it's something you've got to build as quickly as possible, then this is an amazing tool that you will have in the toolbox to talk to your investors to say, look, I'm looking to borrow, let's say, £100,000 from you. Of course, the investor's going to do the due diligence on you, that you're not an idiot, that you've got a bit of a track record. Maybe you'll show some of the project you've done before, and indeed a potential project perhaps that you're looking to borrow the money for and how the figures stack up. However, if you're prepared to say, and in addition, we'll put some life insurance in place and maybe critical illness, because what if we don't know? We haven't got a crystal ball. What if the worst happens? What if I'm taken out of the picture? I can't finish the project and your money is wrapped up in a semi-conversion and it's not easy for the investor to get their money back. Well, the life insurance and or critical illness can kick in and the investor knows they've got the money back. So it's peace of mind. It lowers the risk for the investor. It says that to you, that you are professional, you are looking at every option and you're trying to do the best by your investor. So I think that works well. Now, in addition, you're going to say, well, yeah, but it's another cost to me, Richard. I've got to now pay for some life cover. However, but here's the thing, because if you can demonstrate that by putting the life cover in place clearly lowers the risk to the investor, so why not give the investor a choice? Option A, don't have the life insurance, but that means that you're going to be paying a higher rate of return to that investor, let's say 8%. Or option B, we put the life insurance in place, it's a lower risk, so guess what? I'm only going to offer you, Mr. or Mrs. Investor, 7%, so it's 1% cheaper. And that saving to you gets reused to pay the premiums. You actually don't care whether they go for option A or option B, you want the money. But by giving some options to your investor means that they can then choose what risk level they're at. What is their attitude to risk? Do they want the 8%? because they've done the due diligence and they'll trust you on that? Or will that life insurance policy being put in place just make the difference to them? Not only get the means that you get to pay 7%, but they actually, you do the deal. Because I don't think there's many landlords out there offering to their investors this form of protection, this wraparound, to mitigate part of the risk and part of the worry and concern that investors have. So it starts from as cheap as £5 a month, and it will cover up to about £10 million as well. So that's the two extremes. So it can be as cheap as a fiver a month. You know, if you're young, you know, young-ish and fit, then that would probably cover about £100,000 of life cover. And as I say, if you're borrowing a lot of money from an investor, then I mean, like I say, the cover can be up to 10 million, which will cover, I'm sure, everybody. Are there any exit costs? No, they're not. So these things are pay as you go. So let's say the project, you're going to be borrowing the money for a year, 2 years. As soon as you paid that money back, you cancel the insurance. So literally it is a pay as you go type policy. So I hope that's been stimulating for and give you something to think about for those landlords that are thinking about using investors this year. And if you want to talk to anyone in the team, Yvonne's our insurance expert. So book on the link below, book some time in with Yvonne, or ask for Yvonne on the notes, and she'll have a chat, give you some more information about this type of Keyperson cover. Hope that's been really useful to you. Have a great day.